Friday 28th of August. Yeah, I'm a bit disheartened today. I happened to look up on the Australian job site on my Australian phone. It just came up accidentally, so I had a bit of a look. And industrial spray painters, the average wage in Australia is $70,000, and there are jobs all over Australia for industrial spray painters, and they're starting at $30 to $40 an hour, 35, 36, 38, 43. They're advertising 75 to 90,000 a year, 50-hour plus weeks. So there's a lot of money over there, and I'm busting to make 45, 50 grand here. So yeah, that was a bit of a blow, especially with the cost of living. I think minimum here, even in Rolleston, is going to be $400 a week for a 2-bedroom unit, if I can get one. And over in Australia, 4-bedroom house for $250. $300. Flash one would be a little bit more. So yeah, and the issue is too, like, the plan was to travel this year while Ruby was in year 10 and then be settled for year 11 and 12. They're imperative years for Ruby before she goes on to university. So it was travel, see if we were going to be somewhere, or end up back where we were for year 11 and 12. Either way, we were going to be settled for her for that time. And I don't really have the luxury here of just getting the closest job and then finding something down the track. Just get whatever you can and move later. I can't. I need to get the most I can get now and be happy where I am now, because once the next January 2021 she starts, February 2021, I can't move for a couple of years. It's really important for her. So I can't just get a farm job and have accommodation there. It just won't work for us. So at 70,000 a year, if we go to Australia and quarantine, we'll have the $12,000 it'll cost to get us home. Theoretically, we'll have that paid off in 8 weeks of income. So I really guess I need to look a little bit more closely at getting home, and I think Ruby's keen to be settled somewhere for next year, and that may not be here in New Zealand. We may have to somehow make our way home when the flights open back up. I don't know, but it was really disheartening to see the disparity in wages and living costs. It just almost makes it, it's unviable to live and work in New Zealand. It really is. So we tried to get a bank account yesterday, which I can't do because I have no proof of address. Even if we started with my addresses in Western Australia, they're all post office boxes. I've had all my mail sent to post office boxes for years and years. So I don't have, you don't live in a post office box, do you? So that was a bit of a blow. We can't open a bank account as yet. It's going to be a little bit more drama to get an address officially with I'm not even sure how we're going to do that. So, and the other thing that just is stuck in my mind when we were talking to the young lady at the ANZ Bank, her solution was, well, you're just going to have to find a rich husband with lots of land. I can't believe that's still considered a solution. And early on in the piece, before I could access my super, I was really worried about some of my bills, and I had an old friend who offered to pay for my registration for my car, which was great. That'll take the pressure off, and then I have to worry about a couple other things that I had sorted. And on the flip side of that, if he was to pay that, it came about that I was then obliged to have sex with him once I got back to Perth, WA. So I didn't take that offer. But I can't believe, the older end of the scale and the younger end of the scale are still trading women for their lives and their livelihoods to look after a child. I'm really dismayed that those attitudes still exist. Like, I don't understand why I can't be independent and look after my child and be supported in that, for that. I don't know, it just goes round and round in my head, and I despair of society that's what I'm obliged to do, go and live with a man. And you know, right now, Ruby's made a huge decision to go back to school, to start a school in a different country that has a very different system. There's no classrooms, it's all open plan and it all flows through, and it's combined classes and it's self-directed learning, which, you know, is great that, you know, she's got a chance to do something a little different. But for her to walk into that school by herself was a massive undertaking, and the only reason she could really do it confidently is because I'm sitting in the car outside watching her walk in, and I'm not just dumping her at the school and saying good luck dear, and you know, I've got to go to work now, and or even making her walk to school, which she will have to do. This is a bit of a transition time, and she needs someone to hold her hand through that. As much as she's walking tall and walking on her own, my job right now is to ensure that she's settled in school and she's not worried about what's going to happen on the walk to and from school. That gap between home and school, where home is stable, school is stable, the bit in between is not, and she needs a support through that, and that is my role right now, which means I can't just take a job tomorrow. I've got to give it a week or two, you know, the minimum, to ensure that she's settled in. And if I was to go and find a rich husband, he'd expect all my time, and where does that leave her? You know?